You knew it when you came. You forgot it a little bit after you got here. You're a creative genius. You knew it when you came. You forgot it a little bit after you got here. You are free. You knew it when you came. You've forgotten it a little bit after you got here. You are pure positive energy, and you want that, and nothing less than that will ever be tolerable. In other words, you can't stand it when your freedom is impeded in any way. So you were born with an emotional guidance system. You were born with a system of emotion that lets you know what you're doing vibrationally. And on one end of this vibrational scale are feelings like exhilaration, passion, love, joy, appreciation, pure positive feelings. And the reason they feel the way they do is because in the feeling of them, you're focused upon something where you are giving to yourself the gift of perception of absolute freedom. Now, we use the word perception of freedom very deliberately because you are absolutely, unequivocally free. You are so free you can choose bondage. But the perception of freedom is what is necessary because no one is not free. No one can vibrate for anyone else. No one can get inside of you and offer a vibration that equals your point of attraction. Only you can do that. So since only you can do that, you are utterly free. But unless you know you are and you are applying your thoughts deliberately, then you don't feel so free. And when you don't feel free, it isn't because you aren't free, it's because you are perceiving that you are not free even though you're really free. So up here in those good feeling emotions is the perception of absolute freedom and empowerment. On the other end of the scale, down there where despair is, down there where that feeling of desperation is, where that feeling of depression is, or fear, they all feel pretty much the same. They are vibrationally nearly equivalent. It's a perception of disempowerment. It's the perception of not being free. You never are not free. But when you don't think you're free, you feel rotten. So your goods, your legacy, your deserved stuff is lingering out there, clearly yours, eternally yours. No one else can snatch it. It's yours. No one else created it. It's uniquely, vibrationally encoded with you. It's yours. But whether you let it in or not is clearly and only up to you. You never set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and expect to hear what's being broadcast on 98.6 FM. You get that. You know the frequencies have to match up. And this is no different. The frequency of your desire and the frequency of your in the moment, right now, point of attraction, vibrational offering has to match. And when you are irritated that you don't have enough money, the money that is yours can't get in. Your irritation is not keeping it away. Your irritation is the indication that you're keeping it away. If you are eager and hopeful even, hopeful lets it start moving toward you. Believing lets it in. Knowing makes it come as fast as you ask for it. You could get to the place of so much trusting this creative process and so believing in your ability to create and so understanding law of attraction and so aware of the way you feel and so in deliberate mindful keeping of your own vibrational mood, attitude, or point of attraction that you could think a thought and receive its results. Think a thought and receive its results. And in fact, you are doing just that. You are thinking thoughts and you are receiving the results of those thoughts. So what you're living, what's manifesting, matches precisely every single time, no exception, what you are outputting vibrationally. When you ask, you are asking from your unique vibrational position and source answers precisely. So now you've asked and source has answered. But now your real work begins. And that is you must find some way of managing the vibration of your being so that you match the signal that you've put out there that's being held in vibrational escrow. If you're sick, you're asking for wellness. And Source knows it and is answering it and is providing circumstances and events, even adjusting the cellular nature of your body in order to accommodate your new desire. But if you are beating the drum, every day you get up, you say, I don't have enough money. Money doesn't grow on trees. It's not fair that I don't have enough money. How come I don't have enough money? Look at him. He's got more money than he needs. Your vibration doesn't match what's being held for you in escrow because that is a pure positive vibration. And in your attitude of negativity or lack, you're not lining up. We call this gathering the art of allowing. And what it really means is the art of allowing your connection to your source. The art of allowing your vibrational alignment with the well-being of this universe. The art of allowing vibrational alignment with all that you consider to be good. Sometimes people misunderstand. They think allowing means looking out somewhere into their environment, finding some ridiculously awful, abhorrent thing, and then tolerating it or putting up with it. Being a doormat, just taking whatever anybody gives. Allowing is about feeling. Allowing is about vibration. Allowing is about alignment. Now, of course, in the strictest sense of the word, if you are focused upon something you don't want and feeling negative emotion as you focus upon it, you are, in strict terms, allowing this unwanted thing into your experience. But when we use the term allowing, we always mean allowing your connection to that which is really you, allowing your connection to source and to the resources of well-being that are your right. You are enjoying the expansion of your desire. What? It does expand, doesn't it? Continually, constantly. Constant amending of desires. Constantly standing in a place with all that you have become, with a fresh new perspective from which you will continue to become. And the contrast that surrounds you is a perfect vibrational match for your unique, specific, leading edge position. Do you know that there is not another who stands in precisely the place that you stand? So the desires or preferences that are born within you from this place that you are currently standing are uniquely yours. No one else could accurately counsel you or guide you, for no one else could accurately assess the vibrational mix of the place where you stand right now. So the contrast that you are surrounded by, enveloped by, living, attracting, your contrast, is producing for you a unique perspective from which you desire, and you cannot turn that mechanism off. You cannot cease new preferences exuding from you. They are happening on many levels of your being. Some, consciously, you are vocally saying, I want, or I desire, or I need such and such. But many of them are just radiating from you, even without any words accompanying them, and they are all radiating from you vibrationally. Now, sometimes you're living some contrast. Let's say you open the mailbox, there are several large bills, and when you compare what's in your checkbook with what's being requested, you realize there isn't enough, not enough to be comfortable and have the extra that you want. And in that moment, even though it may feel extremely or moderately or mildly negative to you, in that moment, you radiate a desire, a preference. I want, I need, I'd like more money. So whether you say it or not, it emanates from you. Source hears it, agrees with you, lines up circumstances and events to accommodate you. No matter how much you want or need or prefer, there are no limits. Your experience causes you to ask, and Source lines it up. And Source does not line up more than you want or need or are asking for, or less, but exactly what you are wanting, needing, asking for. So we'll be talking a lot today about this emotional scale. And we want to show you how you can, with far less effort than it would require for you to learn QuickBooks on your computer, you can manage your own vibrational frequency. Because you were born with an emotional guidance system that lets you know how you're doing. It's really important, however, that you understand that this emotional guidance system is yours and that it's not hooked in with anybody else's. And you must decide early on that you're not going to compare how you feel with how anybody else feels, because the vibration within you cannot be regulated or even understood by the vibration of someone else. You can't ask someone else how they feel about something, and then just because they feel that way, immediately begin feeling that way too. Now, we acknowledge that there is this thing called power of influence, where they can demonstrate things to you and you can observe their demonstration, and in time you can begin to feel similarly. You do that all the time. And the law of attraction is helping you with that. In other words, whatever you are feeling, however you are feeling, is causing you to offer a vibration, and law of attraction is causing those same kinds of things to surround you. So it's easy for you to look around your environment, no matter how up close or how far around the world it is. It's easy for you to look around in your environment and conclude that there are facts or evidence or truth that, because they exist, deserve your attention. But we want to point out to you, and we really want you to come to knowing this, all that evidence that you are witnessing is just the result of someone else focusing it into reality. Just because it's true doesn't mean that you should give your attention to it. There are a lot of things that are true that you don't want to bring close to you. And there are a lot of things that are true that you do want to bring close to you. So don't use as your criteria for focusing on it the reality of it or the truth of it. Use how it feels when you focus upon it as your criteria of whether you want to focus upon it long enough to activate it in your vibration enough to make it your point of attraction. Focus is a powerful word. In fact, it is the most powerful word in relationship to deliberate creation, in relationship to creation in general. In other words, you're creating all the time, whether you're doing it deliberately or not, because you're focusing all the time, whether you're doing it deliberately or not. You can't stop focusing. You can't stop perceiving. When you're remembering, you're focusing. When you're observing, you're focusing. When you're imagining, you're focusing. When you're pondering, commenting, whenever you're giving your attention to anything, past, present, or future, you're focusing. And if you're focusing, you're activating a vibration that has attraction quality. So when you activate a vibration, law of attraction is going to respond to your activated vibration and bring you thoughts, bring you circumstances, bring you other people that match that vibration. If you focus often enough, that activated thought will become a dominant activated thought. That's really all a belief is. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. But when we say a belief is a thought you keep thinking, that makes it sound like you're deliberately thinking the thought. In other words, when you say, I'm thinking about something, most of you think that when you're thinking about something that you're deliberately thinking about something. And we want you to realize that you're thinking about a lot of things that you don't really want to think about. So you may be activating things in your vibration that you would not necessarily want to attract into your experience. Now don't panic. You have huge leeway. Sometimes we see our friends say, cancel, cancel. They try to suck it back before law of attraction gets hold of it and starts bringing it to them. And we want you to understand that you have enormous leeway, that the basis of your experience is truly one of well-being. And it's great fun to get out there and mix it up and think some thoughts. And in the process of thinking and feeling and thinking and feeling, honing and fine-tuning and then deciding what you want to think about. And then practicing the thought until that thought becomes easy. And then watching the manifestations begin to surround you as you've thought that thought. And then find your new place, because now you've manifested all kinds of things and you have a new vantage point. And now the contrast gives you an opportunity to mold new thought. Think and feel, think and feel, think and feel. And then decide, this feels better than this. I think I will deliberately think here. And then watch as you activate that thought more deliberately until it becomes a dominantly activated thought. And then law of attraction causes things to actualize around it. And now you're standing in yet another new, wonderful place. And then the contrast is there again, and you're thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling, thinking, feeling. This is the way you mold the clay. The energy that creates worlds is the clay that you are molding.